The fifth Rebbe of Chabad, the Rebbe Rashab, Rebbe Shalom Dovber, he passed away in 1920. He passed away just a week, whatever, 2 weeks before Passover. Beit Nisan passed away. The last Purim that he was in this world, which that was about 2 weeks before he passed away, this was when the communists were really starting to take power. They hadn't really, how do you say, organized themselves totally in Russia, but they had already won the revolution, and they were starting what's called inquisitions and gathering up people and and arresting people. So they made a decree that it was forbidden for people to gather together, to make gatherings. You could only, unless it was family. Unless it was family. And even then they would come and investigate, who are these people if it's family. Because they didn't want any, counter-revolutionary. The Rebbe Rashab announced that on Purim, there's going to be a big get-together at his house, and that everybody should bring a lot of money, because they're going to make a hatrama. What is it called? He's going to ask for donations. There was a lot of there's school networks and things like that they had. A lot of poor people, a lot of charity they had to give. Now you have to remember, this is the beginning of the communist whole business, and so the money was like the big enemy of the people. That was the big enemy of the people. Ideally, it was supposed to be in communism that there wouldn't be any money. That was ideally, that everybody would receive according to their needs and work according to their abilities, and all these wonderful, glorious ideas that totally didn't work. They just brought death and destruction on everybody, but they were really good ideas. So, and they enforced them. So everybody was sort of afraid to do this, because they would get caught. Now, first of all the Chassidim came. Let's say that meant there would be 50 Chassidim there. I don't know how many there were, but let's say there were 50. Only one of the men to come. That was already forbidden, and everyone would come with money. That was really bad news. But the Rebbe said to do it. So the Rebbe said to do it, and everybody knew the Rebbe was not a normal person in any way. The Rebbe never makes mistakes. So they all came. And they got together. The Purim. It was the night of Purim, I imagine. I don't know if it was the night or the day. I imagine the night of Purim. And they all get together, and for bringing, they drink. And they were drinking, and they were rejoicing, and they were singing. And the Rebbe said, you should sing louder and louder. And they were singing louder and louder. Suddenly the door opened up, and in came two policemen. And they came, and they saw, as soon as they came in, so the Rebbe's son, we're talking about the Rebbe Rashab, he was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, right? His son was going to be the next Rebbe after his father passed away. Nobody thought his father was going to pass away, but even though he was a very frail man, but never thought. Anyway, so his son was sitting next to him. As soon as the soldiers came in, the police came in, as his son became very afraid. Why? Because in the course of this forbringen, he made a hatramai. What, I can't remember the word. What's it? The hatramai. When you ask for money for a dinner, you ask for money. There's a word for it. I just escaped my mind. Anyway, so he asked for the Hasidim to give money, and they were all drunk, and there was a good sum of money on the corner of the table where the Rebbe, in front of the Rebbe. And these soldiers came in. Immediately, the previous Rebbe, his son, took the corner of the tablecloth and he threw it over the money. So it was concealed. So his father said, tonight is Purim. Everything is revealed. And he revealed the money. And they stood there. They came in, approached the table. And the Rebbe started to say a mimer. The mimer is written, Reshit Goyam Amalek. And in it, he explains that Amalek is a force which hates Jews and hates Judaism. And mainly because it hates God. and it hates God to the degree where it is exactly the opposite of Judaism. The essence of what Judaism is total self-sacrifice for God, total self-sacrifice for the Torah, with no how do you say, concessions whatsoever. Totally devoted to God, totally devoted to loving every Jew, totally devoted to only doing good, totally devoted to being honest and etc. Total self, even if you're going to lose everything. That's Judaism. And they, as total devotion to killing, to hating good, to destroying good, to destroying the Torah, to destroying the Jews, even if it means self-destruction. Like the SS used to say, we're here to kill or to be killed. We don't care. Makes no difference to us. We're here to kill. That's the main thing, to kill. If we get killed, that's Amalek is the exactly that. It's called Keter, the crown of Klippa, of evil. And he said this mimer, and there they were standing there, and basically he was speaking in Yiddish, but probably the people who came in were Jewish, because the Jews, they were the big communists. They were really inspired by communists. They just stood there and they looked, they watched. He said the mimer. They stood there. I don't know if they listened to the end of it, because it must have taken about 20 minutes at least to say the mimer. They looked and they just left. They went and they left. Implying that evil has no power over self-sacrifice. So there's no power. And that defiance that the fifth Rebbe of Chabad had on Purim, he gave that over to his son constantly, to constantly fight against the communists. And that's what happened. His son, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, was sentenced to death, put into prison, sentenced to death. Miraculously, they got confused. They didn't kill him on the first night, which the whole story is known on Yud Beit Tammuz. He got out. But that put the first crack in the wall of the Iron Curtain. So that when Gorbachev came, what was it, 1990, 1991, that the whole thing just fell down. The power of defiance, the essence of the Jewish soul, that it cannot deny its Judaism, even if it means losing everything. That's the power of Purim that was given in 1920 to bring down the whole Iron Curtain and to bring Mashiach now. Have a good day. See you all, God willing, on Sunday. There won't be a class tomorrow. Tomorrow there will not be a class. Purim. Have a happy Purim. Everyone, God bless you. Remember, tomorrow on Purim, you have to do, there's 4 commandments. All of them start with Mem. Mem. Matanos Levionim. You have to give poor people coins, at least 2 poor people 1 coin, minimum. You have to give more than that. You don't have to give coins also. You can give them money, you can give them food, you can give whatever. You have to give 2 types of food to 1 person. Men should give to men, women to give to women. An apple and a whatever it is, and a bottle of water, anything. 2 types of food. I don't know if water counts. I think it does. And 2 types of food. And then you have to listen to the Megillah tonight and tomorrow. And you have to make a meal. You have to make a festive meal. And it's good to try to get drunk. Adalo Yada. Have a good day. Have a good Purim. Have a good Shabbos with Mashiach now. See you all on Sunday at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Sunday. Shalom Uvracha. Yechia Melech.